the main reasons why inflation is such a popular topic when we talk about macroeconomics is because inflation imposes a lot of costs on us. One of the main costs of inflation is that it creates price confusion. And what that means is that inflation makes price signals more difficult to interpret. For instance, a producer may not know if the price of a product is increasing because of increased demand. So if you take a look at this slide, you see that the baker is experiencing a lot of business. And so the baker thinks people like her products, and so she raises her prices. People like her products, they're better than they like Primanti Brothers sandwiches. But the thing with inflation is that the producer may not know if the price of a product is increasing because of the increased demand, or if prices are increasing because of inflation. So in this picture, what we see is that prices are going up everywhere. Everyone has more money in their pocket. Everyone is going out shopping. And so like the inflation parable that we discussed in an earlier video, the baker's not going to work as hard because her real wage hasn't changed. So another problem with price confusion is that since firms do not all raise prices at the same time, relative prices can vary, which distorts the allocation of resources. In this case, the baker thinks that there's an increase in relative demand for her product. So she hires more resources, more land, more labor, more capital, she invests in more equipment, etc. But with inflation, prices are going up on all goods. And so the baker will not have the incentive to work as hard because her real wage is not increasing. So with inflation, she's going to produce just as much as she did before inflation. So you had this temporary misallocation of resources. Originally more resources being devoted into the production of baked goods, and later us realizing that that was all a mistake. I'm not going to produce any more than what I did before the inflation. Another cost of inflation is money illusion. Money illusion happens when people mistake changes in nominal prices for changes in real prices. So for example, Mary receives a 10% increase in salary, and she says, well, I'm 10% richer, I might as well take on a higher mortgage payment. So if her original mortgage payment was $1,000, she decides that now she's going to increase it to $1,075. However, if the inflation rate, so the rate of prices around her are also increasing at 10%, then she is no better off in terms of her real salary. In other words, there's no change in her purchasing power. What happens? She now has a higher house payment, but the real price of other goods in her basket costs the same. So her real expenditures have increased, and she is in danger of losing her home.